Hi, I'm WYATT Sharp in Ottawa today with Civics Canada as part of their 2023 Student Budget Consultation. Over the course of today, we've been meeting with various members of Parliament from various political parties to discuss and share with them the results of the 2023 Student Budget Consultations as a way to hopefully not only have their insight and input, but also to have the voices of students and the results of this survey shared with them to hopefully implement some of them into the upcoming federal budget. The students pointed out in the survey that they believe the gap between those, worse off versus those in the upper class is becoming too large too quickly. I'm wondering how that, in your view, could potentially be addressed in the budget.
Well, they're absolutely right, and that is exactly what we're seeing on the ground. And what we've been pushing the government to do is to actually put in a pandemic tax, a profiteering tax, for example, to try and close the gap. The people, even during this pandemic period, are making exorbitant amounts of money off of the backs of everyday people. And what we need to do is to make sure that that exorbitant amount of wealth that they're making is actually reinvested back to the community.
We need to lower the tax burden, get rid of this job-killing carbon tax so more Canadians can keep more in their pocket. We need to support our resource sector. We need to support our farmers so that more can get made here and that we can spread it throughout the world. And what that will do is it'll give people more of an opportunity to succeed in this country, because people are putting in a lot more hard work these days, but there's not much that's being given back. We need to make sure we're a country that works hard for those that work hard.
In this survey in particular, students, said 53% of them that, lower taxes and fewer government services was something that they think would be of interest versus 47% who said that they prefer higher taxes and more government spending. What is the importance of government spending to maintain programs that, will have an impact in people's lives, but also balancing that with the amount of taxes that people have to pay?
The reality is, when we have a healthy economy, meaning we have money in the bank, so to speak, we're able to divert that money to help social programming. So when we see in these results, caring about poverty, there's obviously very empathetic young kids out there. They care about making sure the people who are most vulnerable are taken care of. And the way we take care of people is to make sure that we have a good, healthy budget. But if we're, overspending on our credit card, so to speak, because that's what basically we're doing under the Liberals, we just keep putting more and more interest, right? We keep spending more than we have. You're not going to actually help the most vulnerable. So it is actually the most compassionate thing to do is to have a fiscally responsible or balanced budget so that you can actually give more to those who need it.
I think that there was a time during the pandemic that the government really frankly stepped up to support small businesses and individuals. We made sure in the fall economic statement that there was targeted supports to those individuals who are perhaps the most vulnerable right now because of some of the high cost of inflation and the affordability challenges that we're being seen. But I think at the end of the day, that's always a dynamic between public policy and politics. I would suggest that there was a moment where we spent a fair amount of money. Now is the moment to be very targeted and prudent, particularly on the heels of the pandemic.
I mean, I think every government throughout history has had this challenge of discerning, how much tax do you collect? How much do you need to run the programs that are necessary? What is necessary, right? And so I would be of the opinion that the role of government should be limited, that it should hold itself in check. Now, of course, every Canadian holds their own views with regard to the extent that government should intervene and therefore how much money should be collected through taxation. If government is kept small, few tax dollars are needed. If few tax dollars are needed, Canadians get to keep what they work for.